today's video, we're going to be walking through what I do for my weekly reset. Usually it happens on Sundays as I'm kind of prepping for the week, but today's actually Saturday, but I did have some extra time this afternoon to go ahead and do this. So that way I can head into tomorrow, which is my Sunday Sabbath, and I can already have a clear idea of what I need to accomplish for the week, especially because this is the week before Christmas. So there's a lot of extra things going on. I need to wrap presents, mail them out. So without further ado, let's get into it. Grab a coffee. I've got my favorite. It's a gingerbread latte, just fully embracing this time of year. Let's get into it. All right, so we've got our blue light glasses on. We are screen sharing. It means business. So this is my Notion page specifically for what I call weekend mode. And this is where I can find my weekly reset checklist. And it really just gives me a view of the different things that I want to see on a weekend. And I have other views. I'd be happy to share a Notion tour at some point, but for now, we're going to focus on the weekly reset. So here at the top, I've got a couple of different quick links. So these are just quick links to other areas of my Notion if I want to quickly access those when I'm on this page. On the right-hand side here, I have a list of activities that re-energized me. The reason I have this list is because let's say I do happen to have a weekend where I don't really have plans, but this helps me to kind of think outside the box a little bit. I've thought about it before, so at this point, all I need to do is reference back to it and I can see like, oh yeah, I really want to practice hand lettering. When's the last time I've done that? Let me do that with my free afternoon. And then what we're all here for today is the weekly reset content. So I will say this was inspired by Michelle B here on YouTube. She is amazing with her Notion setup and I'm very inspired by her. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to uncheck all of these different checkboxes. That way I can start with a clean slate. And I selected all of them, but sometimes I still can't get it to select all. So I'm just going to uncheck these really quick. Okay, so what we have here is 3 different sections. We've got Get Clear, Get Current, and Life Reset. And this is based on the book, Getting Things Done by David Allen. I highly recommend you read that book if you are looking for a new productivity method or just trying to figure out how to get on top of everything in your busy life. It's a really great system. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but the idea is that we're really clearing out all of our inboxes and all of the areas that we have information coming as inputs into our life. And then we are getting current by processing all of that. And then I've got just a general life reset section where I just have things that I do to set up for the week. So at the top here on Get Clear, the very first item here is bringing the email inbox to 0. So what that means is I'm going to go ahead and clear out my personal inbox and then we'll move on to the next item. Okay, so I just cleared out my inbox and it already feels so good to have a fresh, clean inbox with no items in it. If you can see here on the screen, I do have time suggestions for each task on this list. So that way I can try and keep on track and not get carried away. Really, my focus is to get it to 0 as fast as possible. So I just keep that in mind when I'm going through my emails. So we're going to check that off. And next we are going to clean out our desktop and downloads folder. So I try to do this as much as I can throughout the week. So I will say right now I don't have any desktop items, which feels really great. But now I am going to go through my downloads folder and get that clear as well. All right, so everything's cleared out from my downloads folder with the exception of these folders, which are kind of a work in progress. I'm currently working on moving all of my files from Google Drive to a different system. So that is taking quite a bit of time and I don't want to move these because I have a system to the different things that I'm moving. So I am going to leave this right now because it's kind of a work in progress, but
for the most part, I will completely clear out my downloads folder. That way I have a fresh slate, and it's just easy to keep up with files that I'm using for different things throughout the week, especially because I use the same computer for personal and for work. So it just makes it nice and easy to keep everything organized. So we're going to check that one off. And the next item on here, it is a 2-minute task. So I'm just going to collect any loose papers, mail, receipts, and Post-its on my desk and in my purse. So I will also say I should probably change this to my backpack as well, because I use a backpack now for work. So basically it's just like going through any of the receipts that you have in your wallet or anything like that, so you can have a fresh, purse, backpack. You don't have a bunch of papers in there. Usually throughout the week, I'll end up with papers from things that I need to do something with. So then it will prompt doing some sort of action item, which we haven't gotten to yet, but we will.
So I've got my bag right here. I'm gonna just go through and grab any receipts, anything that I need to get out of here, because it does not need to live in my bag. Same thing with my backpack. This is my work bag. I'm sure I have things in here that I need to figure out a new home for. Alright, I've got my receipts, so I'm just gonna go through them really quick. Most of them I could probably throw away. If not, I will put them in a storage area for if I need to return an item, or might have that possibility. I'll just do that now.
All right, so that is all done. It did take about 2 minutes because I also had my bags here. That's another thing, is once you get in a rhythm with this, you'll figure out what you need to have on hand and ready for the reset. That way you're not wandering all over the house looking for your bag and all the things that you'll need to get through this list. So next is I'm going to go through my phone and I'm going to delete any unneeded photos. So throughout the week, I'll take screenshots and pictures of things that I want to remember for another time. And it's not helpful if it's just sitting in my camera roll. I want to actually do something with it. So this is the way that I can actually capture that and then turn it into a to-do. All right, moving right along. So next I'm going to go through my phone again, but this time I'm going to delete any unneeded text messages, or I'll also go ahead and respond to any text messages that are still sitting in my inbox. Next, we are going to clear our bookmarks. Bookmarks maybe isn't the right word. I should probably change this, but any open tabs that I have on my computer, on my iPad, my phone, any devices that you have. It's such a good feeling to clear out all of those bookmarks or tabs, because they tend to add up very quickly and it just feels like more digital clutter in my opinion. So I really love to just clear everything out. Again, if I need to follow up with something, if I was checking out a product or I was looking into, I don't know, just something that I was interested in, but I want to get back to that, I can turn it into a to-do rather than leaving it as what they call an open loop in getting things done. It just helps to keep everything organized.
So the tabs that I had open right now are a salted caramel ice cream for the Ninja Creamy, and then I've got how to watch the challenge because I recently moved and I was trying to figure that out since we didn't have that specific service that I used to watch it on. So anyway, I do not need any of these tabs. So now they are clear, but I use multiple different browsers. So I'm going to pop into the other ones and clear those out too. Okay, same thing with my iPad here. So I had 3 tabs on the iPad, if it will focus. I had something from the Daily Grace that I was looking at, this planner, super cute planner. I actually won this from a giveaway that they did. So I have it and I'm very excited to use it in the new year. So I'm going to get out of that tab. Then I was looking up some morning pages journal prompts. So I'm going to come back to this because I don't need that right now. And then I was also looking at Matt Diavella's slow growth course, and it's not open right now, so I did join the waitlist because I'm curious to learn more about that. So we're going to close that one out. And oh my gosh, so many fingerprints on there. I need to clean this, but all right, so now that one's empty.
I'm going to check that one off. We're making really good progress here. The next thing I'm going to do is open up my Apple Notes because I do like to take quick notes in here throughout the week, but I don't like to store my notes in Apple Notes. I actually keep it all in Notion. So what I'm going to do is open up my Notes app, and then I'm going to move any notes that I had from this week that I want to keep long term in their appropriate folders in Notion. So I only had a few notes. I had like some random grocery lists from this week that I no longer need. And then I had a couple notes that I wanted to store away in Notion. So I did move that stuff over. Next, these are super quick. I'm just going to go through my phone and delete any voicemails that I no longer need. Looks like I've got one, so I'm going to delete that. So that is done. And then also catching up on any Instagram DMs and Facebook messages because I'm not the best at keeping up with these throughout the week. So I'm going to do that real quick. I've got 4 DMs. Let me respond to those. So we cleared through those 2, and now we're going to move into Get Current. Next, I'm going to open up my Getting Things Done Notion page in this other tab here. And I'd be happy to go through this in a future video, but I already feel like this video is going to be really long. So this is where I process my inbox, and this is essentially my master to-do list. So everything that I'm trying to get done ultimately goes in this list. And the way that I have this set up is these are all of the new tasks, and this was actually the product that my mother-in-law was sharing with me. So I moved that from basically I sent the link from my phone to this inbox, and now all I need to do is classify what type of task it is. So I'm just going to say this is a next action. It's going to take me low energy to check out this product. The context is that I could do this digitally on my phone. It doesn't have a due date, but it is now captured, which means it's no longer in my inbox and it will move to my next actions list. Since I only had one task in my inbox, I'm already done here. But let's say I had a lot of things that added up from the week. I would just go ahead and do that same thing where I'm like processing all of the tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and click that one as done. Next, I'm going to look at my waiting for list and chase anyone up that I need to. I do have a waiting on section. It does look like I only had one in here, and this actually happened. I got this refund from Adobe, so I'm going to check that off as done. But let's say I'm waiting on a friend to get back to me on something. I would leave that task in this area right here and then just kind of check on it each week. That way I'm not losing sight of it. But I just had one thing, so we are good to go there. Next is my someday maybe list, and it's just different things that I might want to get done at some point in the next year, maybe even further out, but it's not really anything that is a next action for me that needs to happen right now, but it's something that I want to do at some point. So at this point in time, with it being the holiday season, I'm not really looking to add anything from this to my personal to-do list. So I'm going to leave all of this here, and then maybe next week, or let's be honest, probably after the new year is when I'm going to start tackling more of this stuff. So I'm going to check that one off. Next is review my projects / goals and ensure that there's at least one action item on each project or goal. So this is also a bit of a unique case for this time of year because I'm really just wrapping up my 2023 goals, and I'm working through what do I want my new year to look like? What are my goals that I have for 2024? So I don't really have like a set up project page right now because it's all kind of like in progress. I'm redoing my setup for it. So I'm sure I'll share more about that here really soon. The last thing is transfer church notes to Notion. I think I'm actually going to take this off because I've started to take my church notes in Notion now, so I don't need to transfer them. But I used to take them on Apple Notes, and then I would move them over like I would with my other notes. So I'm actually going to delete that one. And then we're good with get current. And then now we're going to move into actually like moving into planning for the new week. The first thing on this checklist is update my habit tracker. I'm going to be honest, I haven't done this in a while. I just kind of fell off of updating this tracker. I might get back into this. It was just a digital habit tracker, but I've actually been using the app called Streaks for habit tracking, and I've really been enjoying it. So I'm going to stick to that for now and not worry about this item. Next, I'm going to choose my tasks for the week, review my calendar, and fill out my weekly planner spread. So I do use a physical paper planner. I really have always loved paper planning and digital planning. So I'm really just figuring out my groove with doing both and having a hybrid approach. So what I'm going to do now is flip the camera around and we're going to look at my paper planner.
Okay, so here is a look at this past week. I do have a lot of unchecked tasks. So what I need to do is either check them off or migrate them to next week. So I'm going to do that now. I will start out by looking at my Google Calendar and writing out my schedule for the week. What I'm going to do is go ahead and do that off camera, and then we'll move to the next thing. So those are the tasks for the week. I really only have 2 more time-sensitive things, and then I have some other items I want to get done this week, but if they don't happen, it's not the end of the world. So we're going to pop this page back in here. I'm going to do that right before this page marker thing. That's what I love about this planner is you can just like move pages as you want to.
So now we are going to check off this one right here, choosing tasks for the week and filling out the planner spread. Then next I'm going to look at my Powersheets. That's my goal setting tool, and I'm going to review my progress there.
So this is a real life look at how my Powersheets are looking for December. I do need to go through and fill these out because I have not filled out really any progress for anything except my Bible study, which I have been doing daily, which I'm super proud of myself for. But I am going to go through and like retroactively check these off based on which ones I know I've completed. I'll be honest, I haven't been tracking my water or protein as well. That's more of just like an FYI. So anyway, I'm going to go through that now. All right, so that is what my December goals are looking like as far as the progress I've made. I try to keep them very simple for this month because I do want to finish the year strong, but I also want to focus on prepping for the new year. So there definitely is an element to staying consistent with things that I've already decided are important to me. But at the same time, I'm not trying to overwhelm myself with the holidays. So that's kind of where I'm at for my goals.
So now we are going to check off review Powersheets. Next is order groceries. So this one just kind of depends on the week. Sometimes we will order groceries if it's a busier week. Sometimes we will go and get the groceries and go grocery shopping. I think my husband and I are going to do this tomorrow. So I will check this off because I know we're going to do it this weekend. It's just not going to be right now. We also will do some sort of meal prep. I don't think I have that here specifically on this checklist, but really they kind of go hand in hand for us, getting groceries and prepping our food for the week. So the next thing on the checklist is to update my expense tracker. This is a shared spreadsheet that I have with my husband. I'm not going to share that in today's video, but I might in the future. I'm just trying to kind of figure out how I want to share my finances because it is a more personal topic just to be put out on the internet. So basically what I will do for this step is look at my transactions from this past week and update our different budget categories depending on like where they go. So I'll go in here, I will update the transactions that I've had from the past week and make sure that that's all logged in our budget. That way we can just see if we are on track with our different budget categories or if we're going over in any categories and we need to kind of be careful. So I will go through and do this off camera. So I'm going to check that off now, but that's the next step that I would have to my checklist. Same thing here. I will just kind of do a general glance at my finances page in Notion. This is a page where I have our financial goals and just different things related to our finances that don't really fit into a budget tracker. Honestly, I don't even think I spend 10 minutes on this one. The last area that I have here is home. This one is probably pretty self-explanatory. I pretty much just do laundry, I tidy up and clean the house. Not every week, but I try to be good about washing my makeup brushes as much as possible. So I really just like to tidy and clean and have a physical space that is refreshed for the new week. But this is typically the last thing on my list because I like to just knock out all of my computer work and just kind of like step away from my computer for the rest of the weekend, especially when this is on Sunday afternoons or evenings. And then right here at the bottom, I do have a self-care checklist. This I think I took from a book that I read. I will try to look through this too and see like what are ways that I can incorporate more self-care in my busy schedule this upcoming week. I won't say I'm great about it. It's something I'm definitely working on, but I think that's an important thing to have in my weekly reset is just a reminder to take care of myself. That's kind of how I will end off the weekly reset. And that's really it.
All right, so that is everything I do for my weekly reset. The lighting is getting darker because the sun is setting, so we made it just in time. But thanks so much for watching. I hope that you learned something from this video. That way you know you're heading into a new week with a fresh slate, a clear mind, and you're able to move into your new week with purpose and intention. That's personally why I love having weekly resets. Feel free to leave a comment below with an area of this weekly reset that stood out to you, and maybe something that you want to incorporate on your own, or maybe something that you do on a weekly basis that I didn't mention in this video that others could benefit from. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel for more content like this, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.